So you are in a kind of a unique position having both the belts that you do, because I don't know very many people that have both of those. So naively looking from the outside in, I see crown belt and the skills needed to pursue that and be excellent at that. And I see the flame belt in the skills that are needed to be excellent at that. And they seem to have a ton of overlap. And I have questioned a lot, why do we have two separate belts? Uh, what do you have any thoughts on that? What's the difference having both? Where is one different than the other? Should they be two separate belts? What do you think?
Oh man, you had to say belts. So to be perfectly transparent here, I'm a guy that constantly fights that we should have only one knight's belt or no knight's belts. So
I can get behind
that. We'll get that out of the way. But no, you're right. There's a lot of overlap because if you're going to be a crown knight, if you're going to get to that point, if you're going to get your master crown, almost all of that is service to your kingdom, right? In some way, whether it's on the local park level and then moving up to the kingdom level. So, and then you look at Master Rose or Master Smith or Master Lion. Well, all those are also service to your kingdom on the local level and eventually the kingdom level, right? I think the direct difference is, for instance, like a Master Smith, you're going to be dealing with somebody, at least in today's culture of Amtgard, that's usually building battle games and running stuff at major events or on the local park level. Back in the day, you also had guys like Clue that's out of Emerald Hills. He got his Master Smith doing bardics and running things like that over and making them larger and bigger and better, and then on the kingdom level and then on the IK event level. So you have this mix there, but that's just service in that context, but it takes a lot of leadership skills to make those happen. So that overlapping becomes one of those things of, I think, the crown level is one of those things that directly should be looked at in the difference of someone can get a flame belt without ever holding any office of any type in this game period. But you cannot do that with a crown belt. You're going to have to step in and hold offices and actually show the leadership in the organizational structure of your groups locally or the kingdom and nonprofit as a whole. And I think that's where those two things diverge to become two separate belts. One's going to honestly be dealing with the organization and leadership of it. The other one's going to be you can also be part of that, but it's going to be service to it, and you don't have to touch that side of leadership.
Yeah, I can see that looking from the outside in. But all I could think about that whole time you were saying that is I love the idea of just one belt. Expand on that for me, because that sounds like such a great idea.
Well, I mean, this comes from being in the game for 25 years, and I've heard all the arguments of stuff like gatekeeping and this person doesn't deserve that belt. They're more equipped for this belt, or take your pick of some argument we've probably heard. But when it comes down to it, I've always found it interesting. Once I became a knight, sitting in knight circles and being in EH and Golden Plains, and not so much here in Burning Lands. Burning Lands still is very that old traditional. Your monarch makes the knight, right? Now our monarchs are still asking knights and getting opinions and stuff, but that doesn't dictate anything. It's very different than what I've been used to in the past. But usually when you're sitting there and that, you're asking, is this person worthy of knighthood? Well, when you get to a second belt, the argument is almost the same. Was this person worthy of knighthood? And I have to go, wait a minute, time out. The person's already a knight. Are you saying we need to talk about them not being a knight? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about, and so if the argument is, I don't think they deserve that masterhood, that's one thing. But it never goes that route. It's always, well, I don't think this knighthood this or this knighthood that, and it's all, I don't get it, man. You've already voted them in as a knight once. They're already a knight in our game. Why are we hashing this over again? And so for me, I look at it, we should just have one belt, and your masterhoods can lead to that one belt. And once you get it, you're a knight. A knight's a knight, and a knight over and over again. So I both of us get to serve in that office, right? And I don't think we look at each other and go, well, he's not knightly for crown or rose or sword. It's more, he may not be eligible for those because he doesn't have his masterhood in those. But we're not making an argument of your capability and character of being a knight. So I'll be that guy that's always going, guys, go back to one belt. It makes so much more sense. We don't need to have more.